I was recently on the e.l.f. website because I had a 50% off skincare and I love their Holy Hydration line. And while I was stocking up on skincare, I also noticed a few things that caught my eye that ended up in my cart. So I thought it would be fun today to show you those new things I got, combine it with a few other newer releases from e.l.f., along with some old favorites that I've had for a long time, and just put on a full face of makeup and play and have some fun. So I'm going to be barefaced here in just a second, and then I'll talk about the skincare at the end when I've got my makeup on. Editing Tina here. I think for some people, filming videos must go a whole lot smoother than it does for me. I didn't even realize I was missing footage until I started editing, and then I realized that where I put this on, I don't have it. I don't know why. But I first put on the Power Grip niacinamide primer. I had the original in this and I used it up completely. And so when this came out, I wanted to try it and see how it compared to the original. And honestly, I can't tell a difference between them. I do have niacinamide in my skincare regimen, and so I don't feel like I also need it in my primer. So when this is gone and I repurchase, I will probably just get the regular Power Grip primer instead of this one. So when I got started, I did just put this all over my face. All right, back to the video. Then the other primer that I'm going to use is the Halo Glow Liquid Filter in Fair. And this one I just use on the outer perimeter of my face. Otherwise, I end up looking too oily, and I like a little bit on my forehead, like above my eyes. I think it just gives a little bit of a nice glow up there. And I'm going to use the e.l.f. face sponge, I think it's the Flawless Face Sponge or something like that, to blend that in, just kind of in a C shape around the outside of my face. For foundation, I am going to use the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream, and my shade is Light 205N. I do have a video, actually I have a couple of videos with this. The first time I used this, I hated it. Absolutely hated it. I didn't like it almost immediately on my skin, and it started breaking down really quickly. I don't think I got 4 hours worth of wear out of this. And then I saw Kat from Cat's Eye Beauty try it again, and she didn't like it the first time she used it either, but then she tried it again and liked it. So I thought, maybe they changed something, or maybe my skin has changed. And so I tried it again, and it wasn't as bad as the first time. But I still can't really get a full day's wear out of it, but I want to use it up. And so I'm using it when I'm putting it on in the afternoon to go into the evening or something like that. And that's the situation today. It's later in the afternoon, and so it's not going to be on more than about 5 hours. And so I am going to use it here. And I'm just going to dab it around. It's actually a really good shade match. It's not too warm, so that's nice. And so I'm going to take a different side of my face sponge here and blend that in. By the way, I like the texture of this sponge, but I have noticed when I wash it that there is like pink in the sink, so the color is not color fast. It fades as I wash it, and I'm assuming that it doesn't like come out on my skin. I've never noticed that I looked pink or anything like that, but I just think it's weird that the color runs when I wash the sponge. I have just a little bit left on my palette, so I'm going to pick up a little bit more and just kind of go right in here where I tend to want a little bit extra coverage. A product that I always intended to do a video on, but that I never did, are these e.l.f. correctors. And I did do a short on the blue one. When I want to tone down a foundation that's too warm, I just put a little of the foundation on my palette, and then I take this and I roll it so that there's just a little bit of the blue next to it, and then just mix them together. And it's pretty incredible how it will just neutralize that yellow and help make it a more neutral tone for my neutral skin. The green has been super helpful on times when I have more redness on my skin. Today it's not bad, and so I didn't use it. I was kind of hoping I had some red spots to cover, but I really don't. But sometimes I do get red, especially like spots on my forehead or whatever. And this I dab on, pat it in with my finger usually. I don't even use a sponge. And then cover with my foundation, and it neutralizes the red. I like the shade of this green on my skin. Sometimes I have used green. I used one from LA Colors, I think, and it was too green, and I actually looked a little bit alphaba through my foundation. The yellow one says that it counteracts dullness, so this kind of can help brighten if you want to put it like on your cheeks or under your eyes. It can give a brightening effect, and then put your concealer over that. But the one that I'm going to use today is the Peach Corrector. I have blue tones under my eyes, and Peach cancels out that blue. And so I'm going to put just a little bit right there. And you just want to put that in that trough where the blue is. And then I'm just going to kind of dab with my finger. And then you can see how in the corner right here, I also have some purpley blueness. I'm going to use this AOA Studios F19 brush and just kind of dab at it to set it down right where I want it. I'm going to use the same brush for my concealer, but okay, I wiped it off of that eye because I actually want to do one eye with and one eye without. So it's starting to get dark. I hope I don't lose my light too badly. It's been really gray and cloudy and rainy, and my hair is kind of a disaster. This is second day curls because yesterday it was rainy and humid, and I knew that there was no sense in straightening my hair because it would just anyway. And so it's kind of limp but frizzy at the same time. So it is what it is when you have curly hair and it's humid. You just never really know what you're going to get. I am going to use the e.l.f. Camo Hydrating Concealer, and it will go over the color corrector on this side with nothing on this side. And this, you want to be careful not to get too much. It has this great big huge fat doe foot, but if you put a huge swipe in there, you're going to have way too much. It's going to crease and it's going to look terrible. So I'm just going to put a dot there and a dot there, and then a little bit. And then I'm going to go back to that AOA brush and dab that concealer in, bringing it up into that dark hollow on the inside of my nose. And I use the brush just with stippling motions to kind of spread it out, remove the excess, and then I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. concealer sponge to blend the edges and remove a little extra product. Normally I use this sponge dry, but it was really dirty and needed to get washed, so I'm using it damp today. And I don't know, can you tell? Is there any difference between where I used the corrector and where I didn't? So if I turn my head a little bit so that it's not quite so shadowed, I don't know. I don't know if I can tell a difference or not. Sometimes I think I can, and other times I'm like, no, I don't really know that there's a difference. But I do think that I have more darkness under this eye than I do under this one. And so maybe I just evened them up. I don't know. It's coffee time. It's decaf. I feel like I need something on my lips, and I was going to save this till later, but I think I'm going to bring it out now. I did pick up one of the new Glow Reviver lip oils, and I thought these looked really good. It says it's infused with apricot oil. Okay, well, I just put on contour, bronzer, and blush and didn't have my camera rolling. So I will just tell you what I used. I used the contour wand in Fair, and this has that stupid little sponge at the top that when you squeeze it up, you always get way too much. So you want to make sure that you just kind of dab a little bit. And then I used this e.l.f. brush to blend, okay? And did that on both sides and also along my jawline to help contour my jowls. And then I also went in with the putty bronzer in Honey Drip. I don't always do both contour and bronzer, but if you're going to, contour is going to go right in the hollow of your cheek, and the bronzer, I go right in with the brush and dip that, and it's going to go on the higher points of the cheek, kind of up around here. I wear bangs, so sometimes I put it up here in my hairline and sometimes I don't, and then I might bring it a little bit over my eyes, across my nose. I don't contour my nose because I kind of have a long skinny nose anyway. Then I went in with my putty blush, and I was saying that I don't really know the shade of this. It's either Tahiti or Turks and Caicos, and I can't remember which one it is, but I will find out, and everything will be listed and linked down below. I used a stipple brush and went in with that, and then I put a little on one cheek and go to the other while I still have some on the brush so that I don't get too much on one, and then just kind of go back and forth to blend. So that's what you missed while I had my camera off. This putty blush color is a little bit of a warmer shade, and then I may go over it with the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in Always Preppy if I need a little bit more of a rosy tone to it, based on how my eye look turns out. Now, I mentioned earlier that I had two products that I don't have from e.l.f. One of them is a brow pencil, and it isn't exactly true that I don't have one. I just used it all up, so I can't use it. This is the Instant Lift brow pencil, and I much prefer a micro brow pencil, but I don't like e.l.f.'s micro brow pencil. I have bought them twice, and each time they were so stiff and scratchy that it hurt to put it on. And it would also break because I would have to press hard to get it to transfer, and then it would break. And so I don't like it, and I'm not going to buy it again. So I'm going to do my brows, and I'll be right back. What I do have is the Wow Brow, and I think this is taupe, but if it's on this with the white and the pink, there's no way I can read it, and if it was on the bottom, then it peeled off. So anyway, I like this. It has the little fibers in it. It has a tiny little kind of mascara-ish wand, and after I do the pencil part, then my eyebrows are very, very blonde. So putting this on to coat the actual hair that I have, which isn't much, does help to define them and makes them show up a little bit better. One of the other new products I got was this 10-pan palette. These are their newer formula. It says now with more metallic shimmer. And so I had one of these. I had a 10-pan before, and it was like the rose gold or something like that. And I got rid of it because I really wasn't happy with the pigment or that sort of thing from it. But this looked like a really pretty color story, and I'm excited to see if the formula has changed. So here it is without the cover over it, and the lights are really blowing it out. So let me see. All right, so I turned those lights way down, and it's too dark on my face, but I think you can get a better idea of the color of the palette. Those pinks were just not showing up with the lights as bright as they were. So you have these pink rosy tones and then neutrals, but it's very cool toned, and I'm excited to play with it. This is actually more of a purpley, rosy tone than it is. It looks really gray right there. Doesn't look like that in real life. Okay, so I just kind of used my concealer for primer today. I'm going to go into the lightest shade here in the palette and just put that creased brow bone. Then with a fluffy blending brush, I am going to go into this pink rose right here as my transition shade. I'm just going to dab in. There is kind of some kick up there in the pan, and so I'm going to dab first to place the color and then start with blending motions. That's pretty. That had some nice pigment. I expected it to be light like that, but I was hoping that it would actually show up, and it does. So I have taken this color all the way up underneath that brow bone so that I can see it when my eyes are open, because I have hooded eyes. If I put it just in my crease, it would be gone. I wouldn't see it. I'm going to go in with a denser, fluffy brush that's kind of dome shaped. And I'm first going to try this color here and see if it's deep enough to actually start creating my new crease. And I think it will be. It looks way deeper on the brush than it does in the pan. So this one, I'm actually going to create a new crease. My crease is way down here, and I'm going to create a crease above it. And so I'm going to tap this along the line of where I want that crease to look like it is. And just kind of go back and forth and drop that in there. That's pretty. Ooh, I like that. I'm going to take this kind of rosy purpley color down here, and it is a lot deeper than it looks in the pan. I think that's something I can say for most of these colors. They swatch deeper than they look. So I want this to be on the outer portion of my eye. So I'm just going to... Okay, I didn't realize that I had some fallout, so let me fix that real quick. Okay, so when I pressed in, it's very soft, and I actually had a lot on my finger, so this time I was much more careful. And didn't pick up as much. But that's a pretty shimmer. I like that. Then on my ring finger, I'm going to go into the pink shimmer here. And pop and press that onto the front part of my lid. I'm going to see if I can get some more from that. I'm going to take a brush and then I'm going to wet it with a shot of setting spray. That's a little better, yeah. Okay, it's acceptable, but it's not the same formula that's in their bite-size palettes. I like the bite-size palettes. I'm not sure about this. It says now with more metallic shimmer. I don't know. There's one more pink in here. Let's see if I can put that in the center. I think that one is a little better, but it was $10 for 10 shades, which is actually a little bit more than the bite size. If you buy the bite size, I think they're $3 with 4 shades. So for $9, you could get 12 shades. Anyway, I'm going to take a pencil brush and I want to go into this deepest shade down here. It is a kind of a matte with some sparkle to it. But if you've ever used one of these, then you would know that if you blend them, the sparkle kind of blends away. But I'm just going to use this to draw along the lash line. This is going to give a really kind of a dusty purple look that I think is going to be really pretty. This shade has a lot of pigment. And then I'm going to pull that just a little bit underneath the lash line. I barely touched that into the shadow. Okay. Okay, I like the mattes. I'm not sure about the shimmers. But if you don't like a really metallic shimmer, then this might be great for you. It might be just the amount of shimmer that you want. I just kind of like it to be a little more. So I kind of wish that I'd gotten one of the duochrome liquid shadows, but I didn't. So I'm going to have to keep playing with this. Right now, I'm not sure I can recommend this. Okay, so I was complaining about this eyeshadow palette when I was sitting over in my lights, but then I walked into my bathroom and happened to look in the mirror and forget everything I said about this not being pigmented or sparkly, because honestly, it's beautiful. I love the way this look turned out. And by the way, it's now been like 2.5 hours and I haven't touched my lips. And that lipstick still is going strong even after putting the lip oil on it. And a lot of times that will really reduce the wear time of your lipstick. And so, yeah, I don't know if it's a combination of the stain and the lipstick. I don't know. But anyway, my lips are still looking pretty good. And like I said, this eyeshadow is really pretty. The other thing that I don't have from e.l.f. in a color that I want to use with this eye look is an eyeliner pencil. I have this one, but it's navy blue. And I don't know if it would matter because it really almost looks black. But I am going to actually do a brown liner and I'll be right back. While I was gone, I used my trusty, old, reliable, Wet n Wild kohl eyeliner pencil in Simma Brown Now. This is like $1 and I absolutely love it. When you order from e.l.f., a lot of times you get freebies, and one of the freebies I got was this Big Mood mascara. I've had this before, and I think I remember liking it. It has that hourglass shaped brush, and that is not my favorite mascara brush, but I also curled my lashes while I was away, so let's put this on. It's actually harder with this fat brush to use a mini because the stick isn't as long, so you've got this fat thing really close to your eye, and so I'm going to do my best to not get it all over the place, but we'll see. I'll be back when I have one coat on. Okay, there's one coat, and I'm not exactly sure the best way to show you my eyelashes. It's a very dry formula, I feel like. I think I must have smaller eyes or something that makes it hard for me to use these bigger brushes. So there's one coat on each eye, and I did get some on my eyelid, so I'll clean that up later, but second coat. I feel like the brush does a good job separating the lashes. So there's two coats and one coat. And I feel like it's got great volume, but I don't know if I'm getting much in the way of length. But they are really separated and not at all clumpy. So if you don't like a clumpy lash, you might really like this. I'm going to do a third coat and see if I can just focus on the tips of the lashes to see if I can get a little more length out of this, because I really like the volume and how fanned out they are. I don't know. Do you think I was successful? Did I get some? I think I did. All right, let's see if I can do that on the other side. All right, I might have messed around a little bit too long and they started to get clumpy over here, but I don't know. I think they look kind of pretty. All right, I got to go and clean up my mess. I'll be right back. That was super easy to clean up. I may not even edit that out of there so you can see it. Okay, I know you guys are not going to be able to see this. I know it's annoying when you're watching somebody on YouTube and they say, oh, can you see how it's all broken up right here? But I didn't notice it until I was looking in my 10X. But I'm going to come in really, really close so that maybe, bring a light in here, maybe you can see. Do you see how it's sitting so weird on my nose? Can you see that? I don't even have my makeup all the way on and it already looks weird. That's what this CC cream does on my skin. It just will pick a spot. Sometimes it's my forehead between my eyes. Sometimes it's on my cheeks. Sometimes it's around my mouth. Today it's my nose and it just looks weird and I don't know why. All right, let's talk about this lip oil. In the amount of time that I've been putting on my makeup here, most of the gloss is gone. I still have a little bit of color left behind. I kind of like that. And my lips still feel hydrated. I have used lip oils before that make my lips feel drier when they start to dry down and soak in than they did before I put them on. This one is not doing that, thank goodness. I've also had a few sips of coffee while I've been working on my makeup, and so I have been drinking, and yeah, I think I like it. It's really comfortable. It hasn't gotten sticky as the time has gone on. I've also had other lip glosses or lip products that will get sticky, and this is not doing that. I am going to wipe that off though, because I'm going to use a different lip product. And I think I'm going to take my bangs down. I also have the glossy lip stain in Power Mauve, and I'm going to put it on, but then I'm going to take it right back off because this one, it is a really pretty color and it does dry down. It does stain your lips. But this is one, now my lips are going to be stained and you're not going to be able to see the true color of the lipstick that I'm going to use. Not too smart, Tina. Anyway, you can see that it actually does stain your lips. There's something about it, I can't remember what it was, so I apologize, that was weird. I don't remember if it wore off unevenly or if I put something over it and then it didn't. I don't know. I can't remember. But I'm going to use the Love Triangle lip filler for my lip liner. And this is supposed to be one of those products that has the wedge shape so you can line with precision and then fill in with the fat part. But when you use it, it just all gets round. And you don't really still have any part on there that is sharp for lining, but that's okay. It's a nice formula. It's creamy and lasts a long time. And that's what I'm looking for in a lip liner. I very rarely fill in my lips with a lip liner. However, this one is creamy enough that you can if you want to. And the color on this one is soft pink. Then I have one of the O Face satin lipsticks in Effortless. A little ASMR there for you. And this is just a really pretty pink color. Mauve. This is a super creamy traditional bullet lipstick, and I really, really like it. It feels really good on the lips. Just for fun and for a little gloss, let's put the lip oil over the top. Oh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. So that's my e.l.f. face. These were the two brand new products that I used, and really like this. The jury's still out on this one. I'm going to have to use it more, use more of the colors, and see if I can maybe put down like a glitter primer and see if it will adhere better to that. I'll let you know down in the description box and in a pinned comment maybe if I was able to do different looks with this, that I was happier with it. I have not used their 18 pan palettes, by the way. I think the Earth and Ocean and New Classics and that kind of stuff, I think it's a different formula than this, but I haven't used one, so I can't tell you for sure. You may have noticed that I didn't use one of my most favorite products from e.l.f. And that's my e.l.f. setting spray. And that's because my mister, my pump, is broken. That's the whole reason I like this setting spray, because it has such a fine, amazing mist, and I have no idea what happened to my pump. But I have a lot left in there, and my pump is busted. So, I don't know. And I've had it for a while, so I doubt that e.l.f. is going to replace it. Usually I put other setting sprays into my empty e.l.f. bottles to use them because the mister is so much better than everything else. I'm going to have to put this setting spray into another bottle when I empty one. And that doesn't make me very happy. Darn it anyhow. Now that I have all this makeup on, let's talk about the reason I went to the e.l.f. website in the first place, and that was to get some skincare. A friend shared her coupon that she had for 50% off skincare with me, and because I love e.l.f. skincare, I thought it would be a great time to stock up, and so I got two throwing things here. And so I got two of the Holy Hydration Face Cream, the fragrance-free. My daughter and I both use this as our nighttime moisturizer, and so I stocked up. They're normally $13, so they were on sale for $6.50 a piece. And then I was intrigued by this Triple Bounce Serum, and let me read a little bit of what it says. It says, quench skin with this 1.7% hyaluronic acid serum featuring squalane, niacinamide, and vitamin B5. 3 molecular weights of hyaluronic acid, ultra low, low, and high, deliver the ultimate boost of hydration and reveal fresh, plump skin. And I just thought that sounded really good, especially going into winter, to have something that was extra hydrating. And I don't have anything with niacinamide in it right now, except that primer that I talked about earlier. And I have a squalane oil that I will sometimes use at night. But anyway, I'm excited to add that in and see what I think of it. I used points and got this mini Holy Hydration Cleansing Balm. I know that I cannot use this. This bothers my eyes. It doesn't burn when I'm using it, but when I wake up in the morning after using it, my eyes are all gloopy and gunky and stuck shut. So I can't use it, but my daughter wanted to try it. And I know some people use it without any trouble at all, and others have trouble with it. So I got the small one with my points so that she can try it. And then e.l.f. always gives you some minis, and I already mentioned the mascara that I got. And then I got this Pure Skin Cleanser, and I've had this before and I really enjoy this. We are going to be traveling just a little bit in a couple weeks, and so I'm going to pop that in my travel bag rather than having to take my big cleanser. So this was just a day playing in makeup, new, old, in between, and putting on a full face of makeup. I hope you had as much fun as I did. If you did, take a second and hit that like button for me so that YouTube will send this video out to more people and we can grow our audience here. If you are new, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. If you have watched a few videos and you like what you see, then please take a second, hit that subscribe button and become part of the family here. I hope that you all have a beautiful, blessed day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.